What's up, guys? This is Satsmania. I'm coming to you with a pretty late video tonight, and that's because I wanted to address something with the whole controversy that's happening over the adjusted ban list and how I think some of the community is maybe taking some things too far. Since this whole thing has happened, my phone has been blowing up with like different notifications from YouTube. Like this video is going up, this video is going up. Like it's just ridiculous in terms of like how much coverage this is getting. And I've also been looking at the comment section for a lot of these videos as well, just to see how people are reacting, not just the famous YouTubers and whatnot. And some of it is like positive. People are like, yay, we can actually play, like this is fun, like we can actually get a congregate community. And then there's a lot of people that are really poking fun at the Pepe players, saying like, oh, that's what you get for playing a tier 0 deck. uh First off, I just want to say, like, one, don't be mean to the Pepe players. Be nice, because here's the thing. Yes, it's a tier 0 deck. Yes, the deck itself did deserve to be banned, but the players themselves, you can't blame the players for wanting to play the best deck so they have the best chance of winning at tournaments. It's how the game goes, it's how it is. Don't make fun of people for spending $400 $1,000 for buying that deck either, because of the fact that they want to win. It's how they choose to play the game. That's just how it is. Just like anything else that involves money, it's a risk. However, this was a risk that a lot of people that was completely unprecedented. People were not expecting this at all. This is an emergency ban list for all intents and purposes, no matter what Konami wants to call it. So, guys, like, just before you comment on like a video of any kind and say like, oh, like Pepe players, how it sucks to be you, just think about it for a second. Imagine if you were dropping like $400 to $1,000 on a single deck, and be like, if you could afford it, or future, like, or for whatever reason you decided to go that path, and just think like, okay, like it's kind of ridiculous to be making fun of these guys. All they want to do is try to win and try to play the best and keep up with the meta, and now they have to scrounge around and hope that they actually can afford to play in the game right now, or have the cards necessary to play, because the top tier deck, which was 75% of the meta in terms of like what was showing up in YCSs and regionals, etc., was Pepe. And so that just shows that like a lot of people invested a lot of money into this deck, and they weren't expecting it to get hit for at least another month, and let alone Monkey Board, Skullcrobat Joker, and Draco Slayer all at once. A lot of people were expecting Plushfire and Juggler and Ptolemaeus to be getting hit at some point. At some point this month, just simply because of how traditional ban lists go, and especially based off of what the OCG ban list was, with Plushfire, Juggler, and Ptolemaeus all being banned. And we just, like, in the OCG, didn't even get this either. They did not see Joker go to 1. They did not see Monkey Board go to 1. They did not see Draco Slayer go to 1. And this was very unprecedented. People were dropping $30 for Draco Slayer. They were dropping, I think, about 5 for this and $1 for this. But still, it was just kind of like ridiculous. And like, for people to say like, oh, that's what you get. Like, it's not what they get. It's just a risk. And like, it's like investing in the stock market, and for all intents and purposes of describing exactly what this is. There are events that you don't know are going to happen. There are things that are just like that happen, that are completely unprecedented, that could drastically affect what's going on with certain stock markets. It's, for example, like the stock on oil, for example. This is just entirely hypothetical. It's not an actual event. If a if for some reason we find a new source of oil, for example, like on another planet, for some whatever reason, even though that's highly unlikely, and stock prices for oil go down because we're able to get this new source of oil very easily, that's great. That's a boom. That means people are thriving. However, if the exact opposite happens, and if we suddenly run out of sources of steel and we don't know why, for whatever reason, like a bunch of steel factories just blow up and we can't just immediately start producing steel, people that have invested in steel, they're in a bit of a rut for the moment, because they can't actually do anything about the situation. They can't actually do anything. This is the same type of situation. The people who invested in these decks, they didn't think, no one thought this was going to happen. like this. And like to say that like, oh, it's their fault for investing in it. Yeah, but in terms of historical like accuracy, like we've only ever had an emergency ban list twice, and those usually came within days of the deck coming out, and like not the deck, the card coming out that was a problem, and there was no counter to the card at the time. I mean, when Cyberstein came out, we didn't have effect negation cards like we do today, and with today, like we just got a counter for this deck this past week, and in all honesty, I felt like the Konami's decision to do this so fast was maybe a little hasty and might have been a little rushed. I think they should have waited at least another week, at least past YCS Dallas, which is a huge event on the East Coast for Yu-Gi-Oh at the very least, just to see how the new Monarch structure deck really affected them, because YCSs are huge events. They're not really regionals. They're like a whole section of the United States that goes to these. And not only that, people were flying into YCS Atlanta to go to compete with this deck. So like, was it a little bit too soon? I think so. Should you be making fun of Pepe players for this? No. Like you should have, like, it's just, it's not necessary. You don't need to say these things. So guys, just be nice and have a nice day.